Before I really get started, I wanted to acknowledge Don and this book that's just coming out in August. It's A Millionaire Vision, and I need my glasses to read the subtitle, so of course I'm not quite 100% prepared here, huh? Has that ever happened to you? Happened to me just now, huh? Good example. So the subtitle is How to Create the Life You Really Want. And what I really wanted to focus on here, I got a copy this morning. God bless Don. He's just giver. And in the dedication, dedicated to the worldwide followers of the Napoleon Hill Foundation and the Napoleon Hill Institute as the dedication in his newest book. And just talking about giving and continuing to give and just from the heart, always from the heart. It's just such a beautiful thing. So I just had to mention that, and God bless Don and thank Don. My talk today is all centered around self-discipline. Cleona mentioned that I help host the Pacific time zone self-discipline camp, and I love it. It's so great. If you guys aren't getting up at sometime earlier than 5:30 a.m. in whatever your time zone is and not going to that, you're missing out. It will change your life, just flat out. Just a quick quote, Napoleon, you can make life anything you wish it to be. What do you want your life to be? A little bit of self-discipline. Bam, you're there. I tell you, self-discipline, it starts off and it just, you end up getting your definite major purpose. You end up making things happen. You end up making your plan. You end up getting into action. It's just amazing. So like Cleona mentioned, my name's Gary Glass. I'm a certified coach. I'm, like I mentioned with the self-discipline camp I'm hosting, but let me see, there it is. I'm your friend. I just want to help you. Whatever I can do, just let me know. Let me see. There's a bunch of stuff about me. I was NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. You might have heard about people having all kinds of letters at the end of their name going off the end of the business card. That's me. I've been a long-time real estate investor. I've been doing coaching for quite some time, and I'm most proud of being able to be a part of and be a coach for this organization because it's phenomenal. The more you get associated with our people, the more you're going to get back into your heart, the more you're going to understand what is real for you, what is true for you, and you're going to be able to go do it. So, I've got goals for my talk. So here's shocker, huh? So my first goal is to share the importance of a definite major purpose and how self-discipline can be used to help further you in moving yourself forward. My second goal is to have you experience a couple of clarity exercises that MIT and Caltech project management put on, and so we'll see how you guys line up against the Caltech and the MIT grads, and you know what? I've got a little side bet going with somebody that you guys are going to do better. And then the third thing is to give you a free and we'll get to that later. So stay awake. Golden nugget number one is all about definiteness of purpose. What you want most. It's on I think it's page 5 of Think and Grow Rich, this beautiful, beautiful book. It's the very first question in the book. What do you want most? What is it that you want? What is it that resonates with you? What will make, when you wake up in the morning, what just causes you to open your eyes and go, whoo! I got to get on my feet. I got to get running. I got a mission that I'm on. I got to get moving. That's what we're going to be talking about first. And I've got a little bit of my story. Wasn't Perla's story yesterday amazing? How she knew what she wanted and went for it? I'm the opposite guy. I had no clue, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I thought oh my God, that was so beautiful. And the continued goals that. Here's my first goal, here's my next goal, here's my next goal. Hats off, sweetie. God bless you. I love you. Don't know you, I love you. Make a committed decision to get it, and I'm going to sum most of this stuff up in one word after a little video we watched a little bit later. Make a committed decision to get it. See with your eyes. See in your mind. Feel it in your soul. feel it down into the marrow of your bones. There was a movie a long time ago. They'd say, carpe diem. Seize the day. Seize it. It's yours. Well, how do you want it to be? What do you want it to be? What do you want it to look like? It can be anything you want. You get to choose. Ask your mastermind for ideas and write them down. Doesn't mean you have to implement them. Doesn't mean they resonate with you. However, to get a good set of ideas on a piece of paper, what does Earl Nightingale say about ideas? You gotta gaff them with a pencil. Who knows what a gaff is? Raise your hands. Oh, just a couple. When you go fishing and you catch a big fish, the guy with like the spear, that spear is the gaff. You got to gaff that idea and haul it into the boat. You got to make it yours. You got to resonate with it. You got to adopt it. When you adopt something, what are you doing with it? When you adopt a child, say you were to adopt a child, what do you do with the child? You take it in. You love it. You embrace it. You become one with it. It becomes your family. It becomes more important than you. Anywho, create a focused action plan. Now you're going to notice right now I've got yellow in italics, what you want most. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But then after that, clears in italics and focus. And those are the two ideas that we're really talking about today. What you want and clarity. We're going to do a couple of exercises a little bit later on clarity, and I hope you enjoy those. Let's see. Oh, this is my favorite word. Action. So guess what? In 5 words or less, I want you to write down your goal right now. BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. What's your 5-year goal in 5 words or less? Write it down. And keep your pen out because I got a couple other things I want to be wanting you to write. How many of you guys have ever tried to put 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag? I'm doing that right now. The timers are in the back. They're going to have the hook. Oh, this is me taking. When you get done with that, I want you to write down 3 single words that defines the character that you need to be. And they could be whatever words. I almost want to say some, but they need to be your words that resonate with you. 3 single words, your character. Who do you need to be? When I hear definite major purpose, I hear beingness. Who do I need to be so that I can achieve my vision, so I can achieve my goals? Let's go to the next piece. Keep your pencils out. Write 1 action step you can take today in 5 words or less that'll help you achieve that goal, that BHAG goal, that big, hairy, audacious, the one that makes you feel good. 1 idea. How many people are committed to do that thing today? Raise your hands. God bless you. Keep it up. Keep it up. You do that every day, and in a year, how would Bob used to say, you'll need a telescope to see where you started from. Hoo-ya! Where's my Navy butt? I said the wrong word. Marine. I'm going to get my ass. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Thanks, Frank. The next thing, I want you to write 3 things that you're grateful for today, right now. They don't have to be things that have already happened. They could be things that you're grateful for in the future. If you were to do just this every morning, and maybe expand, I figured you're in this class all day, so I figured I wouldn't give you 6 things to work on today. I figure I hope that one of those things wasn't just being in this class. I hope it's something that really advances you towards your goal. It needs to be something that really moves you forward in what you want and what you want. All right. Back to golden nugget number 1, self-discipline and definiteness of purpose. The beautiful thing about self-discipline, or one of the things that I embrace most about it, is it encompasses both my mental, my thoughts, and my feelings. And as as I can get control of my mind in the context of both my thoughts and my feelings. And you have to understand, I have a line across my head at about my nose level, and this is the top half of my head represents my conscious mind, and the bottom half of my head represents my subconscious mind. So you'll actively see me pointing to different parts of my head. If you remember the stick, who remembers the stick person? Most? Excellent, excellent, thank you. So you know what I'm talking about. So now, your definiteness of purpose is that starting point of all achievement. And it is so much related, and you move forward fastest when you associate that with a motive. There's this wonderful book, of course I forgot it. It's The Science of Personal Achievement. I highly suggest everyone get a copy of this as well. This little green book has essentially the cliff notes to the 17 Laws of Success that Hill wrote in 1918. And it's fabulous. There's a workbook that you can get also with this, or a study guide or something like that, whatever they call it, and it's fabulous. He starts out, he talks in the very first chapter on definiteness of purpose, he talks about the motives to success. And the top three, who knows the top three? What's number one? What's number one? Love. Love of purpose, love of family. Number two was sex, romantic. Number three was material wealth. Are those one of the things that motivate you? I would highly suggest that you get emotional about your goal, whether it's one of those top three things or whether it's any of the other motivations that motivate you. Figure out what motivates you. What makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning? What makes you want to make that extra call in the afternoon or in the evening? What makes you want to go out and do the extra talk? What makes you want to go and do something more, whatever the more is, in order for you to get your BHAG, that big, hairy, audacious goal? What do you want? What's going to motivate you? Get it up underneath you. Fire it up. Light it up. Burn it up. So that you got that energy, you got that power. You're just not going to quit. Anywho, your success or your failure with your definiteness of purpose is entirely a matter of how you discipline your mind and create that motivated mindset. So that's exactly what figure out what motivates you to get that thing. All right, drifting. The opposite of purpose is just, and I'm going to show a little video. It's my favorite video on drifting. Who knows what lollygagging means? Yeah, we're going to watch that video. It's funny. It's one of my favorites. Living without aim or purpose. Number two, influence of negativity. Just being influenced by somebody that, no, you can't do that. And who's the chief detractor? Who's probably number one in influence of negativity in your own life? You, yourself, other than yourself? Probably family. So guess what? What do you need to be able to do?
Place boundaries. Place boundaries.
Place boundaries, absolutely. I came from a radio background when I was working at NASA, and so we have this thing called a filter, so that either a signal goes through or it gets stopped. You gotta, on particular topics with family, you gotta shut down that filter so that signal just does not get through. You do not listen to the negativity. You only hang out with the positive. You only resonate with the positive. You go and you get what you want. Third place. Holy smokes! This was me more than half my life. Absence of self-discipline. Just, I don't know. Well, I think I'll just go to the video because it's just too much fun. That one, just no perseverance. And what does it cost you? Everything. That's even better than what I was going to say. God bless you. It costs you everything. It costs you your dreams. It costs you the dreams not only of yourself, but in your manifestation of your dream. What does it cost your family? What does it cost your friends? When we do our meditations at self-discipline camp early in the morning, while we're going through affirmations, we talk about how's it gonna feel, for just a moment. Put yourself up over your entire community. See your entire community after you have achieved your goal. How are you being? How is your family being? How is every vendor? How is every supplier? How is everyone that comes in contact with you or anyone around you being affected by you hitting your big, hairy, audacious goal? How is that happening? Who the hell are you to stop them from experiencing that? I mean, pardon my French and all, but gee whiz. Anyway, my mom would be thrilled I knew French. Anyway, this is one of my favorite video clips. This is on Lollygag. Guys will need the sound just in case, I don't know. So here we go.
You lollygag the ball around the infield. You lollygag your way down to first. You lollygag in and out of the dugout. You know what that makes you, Larry? Lollygaggers. Lollygaggers. What's our record, Larry? 8 and 16. 8 and 16. How'd we ever win 8? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. This is a simple game. You throw the ball. You hit the ball. You catch the ball. You got it. Now we have got a 12-day road trip starting tomorrow. Let's leave 6 in the morning. Shit.
I love this. Anyway, I can't help it. Baseball is a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. Guess what? Goal achieving is a simple game. You adopt your goal, you plan your goal, you act on your goal. Simple. Good night. No, I'm teasing. Anyway, this is where I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I went from drifting to definite, and I don't know. I was not the kid that knew exactly what he wanted. I just wanted to play, and I was brought up in the Los Angeles area, and I'll call it upper middle class. My parents were teenagers during the Great Depression almost 100 years ago, and so we had a very scarcity mindset within our family, and so we never did much. Anyway, I ended up being the kid that would do everything outside of his schoolwork. So I was in speech things, and I got my Eagle Scout, and I ended up being in the student council stuff. Oh, you can tell, too, I was the run of the litter. You see the shortest kid and pretty much everything there? That was me. So it's like a running joke. Everyone asked me, what do you want? I want to be taller. So anyway, after high school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. So what everybody else was doing was going to college. So I went to I can remember immediately after graduation, my mom and we run into my counselor, and I asked, well, what do I do now? He says, well, didn't you apply for colleges? I said, no. My parents, they knew nothing about going to college. They knew nothing about that. And I was the king of the drifters. I mean, if there was a crown, a big golden crown for drifters, I might have gotten 2. Anyway, I ended up 2 years at a local junior college where I barely went to class, where I barely did homework. I ended up getting a job at the local Bob's Big Boy. And I'm thinking, if Carla, Bob's! And there's a great car show there. Jay Leno shows up with Stanley Steamers and all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of fun. After a couple of years of that, they ended up promoting me to days, so I ended up going from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. shifts to 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. shifts, and I broke. I was like, forget this. So I quit. I ended up teaching I ended up keeping the kids at the summer Y camp from shooting themselves is what I really did. You know, they called me the rifle instructor, but I just made sure that the rifle was pointed downrange. You know, don't shoot me, number one, don't shoot each other, number two. So then after that, I ended up becoming a plumber. I was a Roto-Rooter guy. I did that for about 6 years. You know, the guy that you have a kitchen sink or your main sewer line stops up and all of the stuff is coming up out of the toilet or out of the sink or whatever. That was me. I was clean. I was Mr. Roto-Rooter guy. And, oh, man. You mentioned, Luis, you mentioned business. What is the purpose of business? There you go, perfect. The definition I love best is to serve society, and you said it perfectly. And then any business is only allowed to serve society for as long as they can if they're profitable. And so many people misunderstand that you have to be service-oriented and you have to continue to make a profit in order to have the privilege of serving society. So any small businessman, my hat's off to you. God bless you. I think we ought to, small business, fabulous. Anyway, I'm this guy for like 6 years, and we used to work every other night, every other weekend. We'd work 5 days a week, and then if you worked Monday night, Wednesday night, or Friday night. If you worked Friday night, you worked the whole weekend. You were on call. And then we'd swap with the other half of the team so that we could get every other weekend off. Anyway, I get this phone call, 2 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning, and I had to drive about an hour away down into Marina del Rey, which is a very affluent area right on the coast in Southern California, Los Angeles. And this woman had a kitchen sink stoppage. So what's happening? The water from all of the upper level condos is overflowing out of her sink and onto I could see the faces. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. And so I get there and I see what's going on. I say, oh my gosh. And this is probably still to this day the most expensive condo I've ever seen. She had a 50-foot boat dock that you could go straight out into the Pacific and just, oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. Anyway, see the problem. You guys have probably all been in underground garages, yes? And you see all the pipes off the ceiling. So what you do in that case, you get your ladder, you climb up the ladder, you take your pipe wrench and you hit the pipe. And if you hear this high frequency, tink, 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 that means the pipe's empty. So you move your ladder, you go to over another pipe, tink, tink, tink. That pipe's empty. You move your ladder, you come over to another pipe, clunk, clunk, clunk. Ooh, that pipe's full of stuff. Now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have the pipe go across like that, right? You put the sewer cap there and you pop the cap and everything flows out and everything's hunky-dory. I do that and I couldn't open that sewer cap to save my life. So what do? Exactly what I'm not supposed to do. Sound familiar? You come around, put that cap right in front of my nose, use all the power of my legs, pop! Oof! And that fast, yeah. That fast. I went from pristine, clean, beautiful to sludgy, gooey, smelly, glack. And you know what? It's the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole life because that quick, I decided I'm going back to school, I'm going to get a technical degree, I'm going to get a job at a big aerospace company, I'm going to get the big salary, I'm going to get all the benefits, I'm going to get the retirement, I'm going to get the paid vacation, holy smokes! I'm going to get all this stuff. And guess what happened? It took me about 8 years. First, I got my job at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, and then just after that, I got my first degree. It was double major, math and physics. And a little while after that, I got my second degree, master's in physics. And that job at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory leaded me to be on 3 spacecraft launch teams. This is this little guy here with the dark beard is in front of the Mars Pathfinder spacecraft about 30 days before launch. This piece here is the final stage of the rocket, and from this brown line up is the actual spacecraft. That was the first rover that any nation had sent to Mars in 2013. Oh no, that was the first rover, period. Everything else was just landers, but it had been since 1973 that the United States had sent the 2 Viking landers, and so that was the first one. So I was on that, I was on Mars Global Surveyor, I was on Deep Space One, which was an R&D mission, which I can tell you a story about that one. Whoo, talking about, suck it up, Buttercup. Anyway, if a sewer cleaner from Burbank can end up, 10 years after every other undergrad, when I started, I was 10 years older than every other undergrad. It wasn't, oh, I can tell you, oh man. You got to watch, how's my time? I can tell stories. 10 to go? Okay, I got to haul. Okay, I'm going to finish with that. Definiteness of purpose, auto-suggestion, and self-discipline. So what happened to me? Here's our lovely stick person, right? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, and body. What happened to me? I had an emotional impact. Boom! It happened to me that quick. Now, that doesn't always happen. However, the beautiful thing is there's 2 ways to get a good idea into your mind. The second way is by constant paced repetition. And so the beautiful thing in my story, or at least for me, was every single semester as I'm going through college, I can say, okay, next, I got to pass this class, I got to do well in this class, I got to do well, I got to keep going, I got to keep going. And so there's the idea, seeding my mind with positive thoughts, seeding my mind with positive thoughts, constantly, over and over and over again. And what I learned was, and I didn't even realize it, we're very similar, Pearl, total unconscious competent. I had no clue what I was doing. And I was following the principles. So the principles work. But what happens? You use that repetition, and I've heard different words from all sorts of different people, and I've decided that it really is a staircase. Repetition is the mother of learning. It's the mother of memory. It's the mother of understanding. It's the mother of skill. It's the mother of mastery. And as you expand more and more, what you'll find is you start getting into other areas too. So I would even consider it the mother of wisdom. That's one to take a picture of. Oh, and I'm going to want you to have your cameras out later on because I know I'm going to run out of time and we got stuff to do. Okay. So I want to move on now to talking about clarity. And what I'm going to do now, everybody be sure you have a piece of paper out and a pencil, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a clarity. This is an organization exercise, and order is? Yes, it is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play a little game, and this game's going to have 4 rounds. This first game is called random, and so what we're going to do is your job during a 30-second shift is to identify as many numbers as you can. On the next chart, there's going to be a whole bunch of numbers, and they're going to be all over the place, and they're going to be jumbled up in different shapes and all sorts of things. So what I want you to do is first I want you to find the number 1 and write it down. And then I want you to find the number 2 and write it down. And go as far as you can. Now, here's my example. If you find the number 1, write it down. If you don't find the number 2, but you do find the number 3, do not write the number 3 down. Number 1 is as far as you got. Here's another example. Oh, yeah, number 1's the big number. So if you find 1, you find 2, you find 3, but you don't find anything else until 8, you don't write down the number 8. Your biggest number is the number 3. Are you with me? Okay, here comes. This is the stuff that you're competing with the Caltech, MIT, those guys. So here we go. Here's the board. Go. You can do this. So I got 10 to go. Is where I'm at, or is that's how much I have left? Oh, God bless you. All right. Who got, how far did you get? 5. Who got more than 6? 6? Who got more than 6? 6, 6, 6. Who got more than 6? 7, no, no, no. Where's it? 7, 7. We got a 7. Okay, who got the 7? Who got 7? Was that you, Bob? Yeah, I don't. The game's over. Hey, stop it. You guys, we're going to do this more. Don't worry. Relax. Let's listen. The lesson here is this is representing your work area. Do you want the lesson or do you want to keep playing the game? This represents a messy work area. You got all sorts of stuff from, you're in your office, you got stuff from your kitchen, you got stuff from your garage, you got stuff from all over the place on your desk. At the same time, this could be representing your mind with all sorts of different opportunities that are just causing all kinds of problems, like a squirrel juggling all kinds of different ideas. So guess what we're going to do now? We're going to play again. This is round 2, so I'm going to sort the numbers a little bit for you. What's going to have happened is a lot of, I'm going to call it the trash numbers, or the stuff that should be in the garage or should be in the kitchen instead of on your work table. They're going to be out of your work office. So just like before, 30 seconds, sequentially find number 1, then number 2, then number 3, and so forth. And there was the example. If you find number 1 but not number 2, and you do find number 3, you don't write down number 3, you just get to number 1 was the number, and the same as before. Right? You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Isn't it easier with the trash out of your way? Isn't it easier with not having all the projects that you're working on all at the same time, in your mind all at the same time? Makes a difference, doesn't it? That's why I so love Dr. Joe's idea. Clean, clean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me. There we go. We're all done. How far did you get? 14. 14. Bigger than 14? 15. Bigger than 15. Good job. Winner. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. So like I was kind of saying, this represents a messy work area with the trash thrown out and whatever's not needed put away. The other thing, it could represent your mind with only the opportunities you want. When you're only focusing on what you want and not what you do not want. What do you want? It's the very first question in our, I call it my Bible number 2. In Think and Grow Rich, you open up the cover, and you get a cover page, and the very next page, what's it ask? What do you want most? What do you want most? Anyway, I'm going to keep asking you that. Anyway, opportunities, and those ideas, those opportunities, they're not organized at all. So guess what? We're going to play the very same game again. Now this time, there's going to be a little bit of order to the game. So you ready? Let's go. Go. There we go. Now what's interesting about this is although there is some order and there is a place for each number, it's kind of not where it should be. Yeah, good. Shh. Okay. Yeah, there is a pattern. Absolutely. So this, like I was saying, represents a workspace with things in a place, not necessarily in a logical place, I'll say, where it would make sense to make the entire process smooth and easy. Also represents your mind with only the opportunities you want, and maybe a little bit organized, but not really. And we'll get into organization a little bit in a second. So, guess what? We're going to play again. Now this time, all of the numbers on the chart, they're completely sorted, and they're going to be completely set in a place. So we're not going to write down the numbers at all this time. When you get through the entire sequence of numbers, I want you to jump up out of your chair. Just stand up. You ready? Yeah. Ready? Okay, go. Isn't that something? Isn't it something when you have the ideas in your mind organized and exactly where they want to be? You know exactly what you want. You have a plan and you're executing your plan. Isn't that amazing? I love that. Fully organized, ready to work on all of those ideas towards, guess what? Your big, hairy, audacious goal. What a beaut. So let's just, I don't know, how far did you get in each round? Just notice, and what's the difference? Was there a trend? Did you notice as things got a little bit more organized? Wow. Which round were you the most effective? Right? How much better will your life be when you apply this lesson? What I'd like you to do right now is, in 5 words or less, write down something that you can do in your life that can make your life better with using some sort of an organization. Go for it. Go for it. Just 5 words or less, because I'm down to probably negative 2 minutes. That's me. That's right. OG. All right. So I had some life suggestions, but here, clean your work area, clear your mind. One of the things that I didn't get up here that I'd suggest even, that I'm most guilty of, get your bloody dishes done before you go to bed, Gary. That's one of mine. And when I do, the next day is so much more perfect. The other exercise when I do the night before is, what do I want to do tomorrow? Write down 6 things that I want to do tomorrow the night before and let my noodle regurgitate on it or germinate on it overnight. Oops. So, yeah, that's kind of fun. Did you like that one? Is that okay? Would you want to do that again someday? Okay. Who's ever heard of multitasking? Oh, I hear the groans. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. And actually, what you're going to find at your table is you're going to find this snaky-looking serpentine thing handout. And I want you to get that out. And I want you to get a pen out. And I'm going to explain the instruction. And we're going to start with the first page, is the first exercise. And it looks like this. And I'm going to cut this. I was saying 5 minutes maximum, but I'm going to cut it down to 2 because I can, because I need to before they get the hook. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this chart in. We're going to start in the top left corner, and we're just going to fill this in as columns. And so all you need to do is follow the snaky little arrows, right? So now I'm going to go through this one time with you. Top left corner, you're going to put in a lowercase a. Then in the box below that, I want you to put in the number 1. Then the box below that, I want you to put in the capital A. The box before that, I want you to put in a Roman numeral 1. Then you go back to the top and you start writing lowercase b. Then the number 2, Then, oh, and don't be doing this now. We're going to do this for time in a minute. I apologize. I should have said that. I'm trying to give you clarity so that it goes okay, because I've done this before when, it really goes off the rails. But then Roman numeral 2, and then you're going to keep going. You're going to fill them all in. You're going to get down to this one, and there's number 9, but then you're going to come up to little j, and then there's going to be the timer in the bottom left corner here. I want you to record the time. Then go back and fill in the number 10 and record the time again. It'll be a few seconds more, right? Then the J and the time. And then the Roman numeral 10 and the time. All right? Does anybody need me to go over that again? You okay? You got it?
Can we take a picture and then we just fill it out?
You know what? I don't care as long as you do the serpentine. As long as you do the serpentine. Now, what I want you to notice is the top row is all lowercase. The second row is all numbers. The third row is letters, again, all uppercase. And the last row is numbers in Roman numerals. So, if you're ready, go. Huh. Yeah, there we go. There goes the timer. Yeah, thanks, guys.
I've been feeling ungrateful. Yeah, lately I've been focusing on all the things I don't have. Calling me ungrateful. Yes, okay, I know that. Developed all these negatives. Often got me snapping like
It's been a while.
everything I pitch going left, Sandy Koufax. Feeling like I struck out. Always in a rush now. Trying to catch up to somebody else who get you cut down.
Almost.
Voices in my head are telling me I ain't enough now. Talk about a tough crowd. Damn. Now every morning wait before I go and make some breakfast. Think about the things I got. It only takes a second. Count my favorite blessings. Tell me perspectives. So in the morning I'll be singing. Yeah, I woke up feeling grateful. Thankful. Everything that I pray for came so. I've been feeling so grateful. Got me feeling so grateful. Yeah, I woke up feeling grateful. Thankful. Everything that I pray for came so. I've been feeling so grateful. Got me feeling so grateful. Yeah, I woke up feeling grateful.
Yeah, good job. No, the timer's right there in the bottom left corner. It's okay. Maybe I should put it on top next time. Thank you. I didn't know. Yeah, fading in, fading out. Time. You fill in the time. Oh, don't worry about that one. Don't worry about that one. Yeah. Does anyone need more time? Does anyone need more time? Everybody done? Okay. Easy. All right, guess what? Go to page 2. Go to page 2 of the exercise. And we're going to do the exact... We're going to do the exact same thing, only instead of going up and down in columns, we're going to fill these in as rows. So we're going to start out with little a, then little b, then little c, d, e, f, g, h, I, j, then fill in the time, then start with row number 2 and fill in all the numbers, and then row number 3 and fill in all the letters, and don't forget to put in the times. When you finish a row, put in the time. When you finish the row, put in the time. And then all the Roman numerals and put in the time, and ready, go. Does anybody need any help with the instructions? Awesome. Yeah, superstar. Oh, she disappeared. How much time is she saying I have? 10. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm almost done. It's all good. Let's talk later. Who's not finished? Anyone? Anyone not finished? Not finished? Okay. Oh, you're done? You're done? You are finished. Okay. Okay. Well, guess what this game was between these two charts? What we're doing is we're comparing multitasking versus focused thinking. So in this exercise, each row represents a project that you're working on, and each individual box represents a task for that project that you're working on. So round one represented doing your work while multitasking, where you're attempting to do 4 things all at once that you really can't do, while round 2 represents working on your project and getting it done, and then starting the next project and getting it done. So there it is for the multitasking. You see project 1, project 2, project 3, 4. Here it is again for the focused effort. Now what I want you to do is on the 3rd page, what were your times? Now what I'm going to suggest you do is go from the first page and just fill it in on the page. What were the times? And if you want to, you can put those all in seconds so it makes it easier. So yeah. Should I explain that? Am I being silly? I get that way. And then when you're finished, like for example, you might have been 70, I don't know, I just put in numbers. For round 1, project 1, it might have taken you 70 seconds. Project 2, it might have been 85 seconds. 3, 100 seconds. 4, 115. So then I'd like you to fill in the same thing for the focused effort, and maybe that was 10 seconds, and then 20 seconds for project 2, 30 and 40 seconds. And I want you to subtract them. Yeah. Am I an analyst or what? I'm sorry. I'm the left brain guy here. So ultimately, what I'm attempting to get you to see in numbers is, where were you more effective, in round 1 or round 2? In the multitasking or in the focused effort? I mean, I want to say everyone was with the focused effort. And so I'll ask you again, it's the same question from the first round or the first exercise. How much better would your life be if you focused on your projects, got things done, instead of moving from one project task to the next project task to another project task? So what I want you to do is I want you to write down one of the ideas. How do you stop from multitasking? Now, I've got a couple of other little comments about this. Multitasking at one point in time, even the Harvard Business Review would talk about how multitasking was, a form of competitive advantage, especially in business. Well, what does the Harvard Business Review write about, right? Business, of course. Durr. Anyway, that's wrong. That is flat out wrong, and they admit it now. And there's all kinds of studies from all kinds of Stanford, Harvard, Yale, University of Michigan, and the studies in neuroplasticity agree. And what I really like about these two pictures at the bottom is the one on the left is the multitasking. And so what ends up happening with multitasking is you'll have a synapse, and you'll start a firing from, say, this part of you. Here, put your finger on your bottom right chin, and then it's going to fire to your top back of your head, and then it's going to fire to the top front of your head, and then it's going to go to the bottom over here, and then it's going to come maybe on your nose, and then maybe to the back of your head, maybe the top of your head, and it's completely disjointed. And so you can kind of see that in the image, in that there's hardly anything being lit up. Nothing's being lit up. Whereas when you have focused synapse firings, I want you to put your finger on the right side of the top of your head and go to the left side. Now back to the right side. Now back to the left side. And you know what that's doing? Go back and forth, faster, 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 faster. That is strengthening a synapse cord. It's making a synapse rope that's so strong. When you're doing the auto-suggestion with your goal, with what's on your goal card, what you're doing is just that. You're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you're making that strong. And that's what you want to do if you want your goals. If you don't want your goals, Anywho, so what we talked about today was self-discipline in a nutshell. Oh, am I out of time? Get clear. Number 5, get focused. So number 1, get clear on what you want most. When you get done with this weekend, one of my homeworks that I will suggest you do is go home and get quiet. Find yourself a place to sit in a very calm place and just sit and relax. Have your heart come down to a relatively low pace. Breathe in, breathe out. Just be at peace. You may choose to close your eyes, you may not. It's okay, whatever works for you. Ask yourself, what do I want? If you don't come up with anything, or if you have the monkey mind like I do sometimes, it's okay. Ask yourself, what do I want? After a minute or two of that, what I'd like you to do is might have helped if I told you this earlier, have a pad of paper, very much like the pads that we gave you for the weekend, and a pen, and write down everything. You just get it out of you. Gaff it on that piece of paper. Just write it all down. Write it all down. And then once you've gotten everything out of you and onto the piece of paper, go back to your quiet place. Be quiet. Be still. Breathe. Ask yourself again, what do I want? What do I want most? What has happened for me in that sort of an exercise is the second time I do it, the monkey mind is less. Ask yourself again. Get all of those ideas on paper. Then go back. Be quiet. Be still. What do I want most? That will bring you the clarity. The next thing, once you've determined what you want most, I want you to get back to your quiet place again. And I want you to see that thing, that be, do, have. See it. See it in its entirety. See it in all of its beautiful detail. See the color. Feel the emotion of it. Hear the sounds associated with it. One of my celebrations for goals, I love food. Fear. I love to go to Michelin restaurants. When I have a goal, it's like a BHAG kind of a goal, do a Michelin. Treat yourself. Get yourself a good goal and treat yourself to a Michelin 3 or a 5-star restaurant. I can tell you right now, you're going to spend some money. And you're going to experience a level of care, both in the preparation of your food and the service of your food, that you will never forget. It's amazing. So that's what you want most. And then the clarity, we kind of talked a little bit about the clarity, but then the focused action plan. Get away from that bloody multitasking. It'll kill you. All right, I want you to get your cameras out. I don't know a talk that I can't speak more than I have the time allotted. So here's your homework. You've got clarity homework. This is to do a 7x7 exercise. I want you to write out 7 tasks that you've been putting off. And then underneath each of those tasks, I want you to write down 7 ideas, 7 action steps for each one of those 7 tasks. And then what I'd really like you to do is to keep breaking those down and breaking those down. My mentor Bob used to say, break it down to the ridiculous. You remember the little boxes on those sheets of paper you've got? My opinion is a task for a project has to be 30 minutes or less. Because if you're working on a task for anything more than, say, even 20 minutes, you're going to get interrupted, something's going to happen, and you're going to get distracted. And that sucks. And it's just a fact of life. If you can break your tasks down into 20 minutes or less, you're going to be able to get things done. And you're going to advance your business, you're going to advance your life, you're going to advance everything around your life dramatically. So did you take a picture of that? You got your homework? You're going to do it?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you're going to do it.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me see. Did I say something about a gift? I want you to take a picture of this. Don't scan it yet, but take a picture of this. I want you to scan it later because I'm giving you a free copy that you can stream. Once you register for this, you've got 48 hours to watch the Think and Grow Rich movie. It's, I don't know how many have seen the Think and Grow Rich, the Legacy movie? Yeah, it's fabulous. You'll have 48 hours. Of course, there's a price. There's a huge price. You know, when you scan this, you're going to get to this page, and then, of course, it's your contact information. What you also find, after that, it's going to be, there's going to be another set of questions that if I can be of service to you in any way financially, I want to be able to help you. If you don't want to, just answer gibberish and get the movie. It's fabulous. When you see Marconi being drug away, or when you see Edwin C. Barnes hopping on the train, when you see Edison getting the light bulb going, or finding the letter from his mom, it's beautiful. So everybody get that? We all done? All right. Well, what I'm going to say is enjoy the movie and have a great weekend.